Hello, and welcome to Storytime Adventures, where we tell stories for kids. I'm your host, Jackie, and I'm excited to share a new story with you today. Whether you're listening with your family at home or on a road trip like we often do, we hope our stories spark your imagination and take you on an adventure. Without pictures to guide us, using your imagination is like having a magic paintbrush, where the pictures in your mind are often more vivid and wondrous than any picture on a page. Before we begin, we want to give a big shout out to our listeners. Thank you for tuning in and supporting our podcast. If you enjoy our show, please leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform and share it with your family and friends. Stay tuned after the show for a fun activity that you can do with your family and friends that's connected to science, math, reading, or writing. Now sit back and relax and let your imagination take flight. We're excited to share this adventure with you. Sammy the Squishy, learning to master emotions. Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, there was a magical rainbow that had shone brightly in the sky. Every time it rained, the rainbow appeared, stretching across the sky in a beautiful arc of colors. One day, as the rain cleared and the sun began to shine, something strange happened. A little squishy creature named Sammy popped out of the rainbow, landing on the grass below. The squishy had a star-shaped body that was plump and bounced back whenever it was touched. It had big, bright eyes that twinkled like stars in the night sky, and a wide, happy smile that stretched from point to point. The squishy was confused and scared, not knowing where it was or how it got there, but it quickly realized that it had landed in a magical world filled with wonder and adventure. As the squishy explored its new surroundings, it met many different creatures, fairies, unicorns, and talking animals, all of whom welcomed it with open arms. The squishy soon discovered that it had a special talent. It could change colors. Squishy loved changing colors, but it never understood why it would change colors. It would happen suddenly and out of nowhere. One day when Yuma, the unicorn, was out on her morning walk, she spotted something particular lying on the grass. As she approached, she saw it was a small creature with a star-shaped body, big sparkling eyes, and a wide, cheerful smile that illuminated its face like the sun. It was Sammy the Squishy. Yuma picked up the squishy and examined it closely.
"What are you?"
she asked.
"I'm Sammy the Squishy,"
replied the little creature.
"A squishy? I've never heard of that before."
"We live in the rainbow,"
said the squishy.
"I'm not sure what happened, but I think I fell out of the rainbow and landed here."
Uma was amazed.
"That's incredible! You must have seen so many amazing things."
"I have,"
said the squishy.
"but I have a problem. I keep changing colors suddenly. It just happens out of nowhere."
"What do you mean?"
asked Yuma.
"Well, sometimes I turn red and I growl, and sometimes I scare my friends. Other times I turn blue and I whimper, and sometimes my friends don't know how to help me."
"I see,"
said Yuma.
"It sounds like you need to learn how to regulate your emotions."
"How do I do that?"
asked the squishy.
"You need to learn how to recognize your emotions and express them in a healthy way. Let's try an exercise. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Think about a time when you felt happy."
The squishy closed its eyes and began to think about a happy, peaceful memory. It remembered a time when the sun was shining brightly in the sky. It was walking along a quiet path in a lush green forest. Birds were chirping, and the gentle rustling of leaves was soothing to its ears. As it walked, it felt soft grass beneath its feet and the warm sun on its face. It came across a babbling brook, and as it approached, it saw that the water was crystal clear and sparkling in the sunlight. Squishy took a listen to the soothing sound of the water as it flowed over the rocks. It felt a sense of peace and contentment wash over it, and it smiled. This memory always made the squishy feel happy and at ease. Uma smiled at Sammy.
"That's great, Sammy. Look at you. You have turned yellow." As you think about that memory, can you tell me more about how you're feeling right now?
Sammy thought for a moment before responding.
"I feel happy, like I'm floating on a cloud. The warmth of the sun on my skin and the sound of the birds singing made me feel light and carefree. It's like everything is perfect at this moment."
Uma nodded understandingly and said,
"I can imagine how wonderful that feels. Remembering happy moments like this can help us regulate our emotions when we're feeling upset or overwhelmed. It's important to take deep breaths and think about something positive, like this happy memory. to calm down and feel better. Now,
said Uma.
How do you feel in your body?
I feel light and bouncy,
said the squishy. Sammy felt like it was floating on air, weightless and carefree. Its body felt warm and tingly with a sense of excitement and joy. Its round and plump body bounced with every happy thought, and it couldn't help but smile wider with every passing moment. The happy feeling radiated from its body, filling the air with a positive energy that made everything seem brighter and more beautiful. It was as if the entire world was smiling along with Sammy, and Yuma couldn't help but feel uplifted by the squishy's infectious happiness.
Good, said Yuma. Now let's try another one. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Think about a time when you felt angry.
The squishy closed its eyes and took a deep breath. The squishy thought back to a time when it was playing with its squishy friends in the rainbow. They were having a great time jumping around and exploring, but then one of the squishies accidentally bumped into the squishy, causing it to fall over and hurt itself. The squishy had felt angry at that time because it had been hurt and wanted the other squishy to apologize.
Look,
said Yuma.
You turned red. Now how does it feel in your body?
I feel tense and hot,
said the squishy. The squishy felt a tightness in its chest as if its body was coiling up like a spring. Its heartbeat quickened and its tiny fists clenched involuntarily. Its body felt hot and restless, and it had a sudden urge to lash out and make its anger known. But at the same time, the squishy knew that this was not the best way to handle its emotions.
Good, said Yuma. Now, what can you do to express your anger in a healthy way?
I can take deep breaths and count to 10,
said the squishy.
And I can tell my friends or family that I need some space.
The squishy took a deep breath in and slowly let it out. It could feel its body starting to relax. It took another deep breath in and let it out slowly. As it counted to 10, it felt the anger starting to fade away. The squishy realized that taking deep breaths was helping it to calm down and feel better. Suddenly, it turned green.
Wow,
said Yuma.
You just turned green. Green must mean you are calm. After taking those deep breaths, the red anger left your body and now you are green. Now, let's try one more. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Think about a time when you felt sad.
The squishy closed its eyes and took a deep breath. The squishy remembered a time when it had lost its favorite toy. It had been a sunny day and the squishy had been playing with its toy in the park. It had been having so much fun that it didn't even notice when the toy slipped out of its little squishy hands. It wasn't until the squishy got home and realized the toy was missing that it started to panic. It searched every room in the house, but the toy was nowhere to be found. So the squishy decided to retrace its steps all the way back to the park. The more it looked, the more hopeless it felt, until it finally collapsed on the floor in tears.
Okay, now, look, you've turned blue,
said Yuma.
Now, how does it feel in your body?
I feel heavy and droopy,
said the squishy. The squishy felt like its whole body was weighed down by a heavy burden. Its normally bouncy and playful body was now sagging and drooping, as if all the energy had been sucked out of it. The sadness felt like a dark cloud hovering over its head, casting a shadow over everything it saw. Every moment felt like a struggle, and even breathing felt like a chore. The squishy felt alone and isolated, as if its body could possibly understand how it was feeling.
Good,
said Yuma.
Now, what can you do to feel better?
I can talk to my friends or family about why I'm sad, said the squishy, and they can give me a hug and make me feel better.
As the squishy talked about its friends and the possibility of getting a hug, its expression started to brighten. A small smile began to form on its face, and Yuma could see that the squishy was starting to feel a little better already.
That's a great idea. And look at yourself. You just turned back to yellow,
said Yuma.
Having support from family and friends can really make a difference when you're feeling down. Now you know how to regulate your emotions, and your friends or family can help you too. Just tell them how you're feeling, and they'll know how to support you.
The squishy was overjoyed.
Thank you! You've helped me so much.
The squishy felt a sense of empowerment and relief now that it had some tools to manage its emotions and its colors. It realized that it didn't have to be at mercy of its feelings, but rather it could choose how to respond to them in a healthy way. It felt a newfound confidence in its ability to navigate the ups and downs of life and was grateful for the support and guidance that Yuma had provided.
You're welcome,
said Yuma. Yuma the unicorn smiled at Sammy and said,
I'm glad I've been able to help. Remember, you're the master of your mind, your body, and your life. You have the power to choose how you feel and react to situations. Repeat this daily mantra with me. I am the master of my mind. I'm the master of my body. I'm the master of my life. and so it is.
Sammy nodded and repeated the mantra with Uma. It felt good to have a positive affirmation to start the day with.
Now, go out and explore the world. And remember, always express your emotions in a healthy way,
said Uma. Sammy the Squishy loved being able to express its emotions through its colors. It no longer felt like it had to hide how it was feeling or pretend to be okay when it wasn't. It was free to be itself, and that made it the happiest squishy in the world. From then on, Squishy and its friends communicated with each other using their colors. They all learned how to recognize each other's emotions and knew how to support each other when they were feeling a certain way. And so, Squishy continued to explore the world, spreading happiness and love wherever it went, with its colorful emotions always shining through. The end. We provided a link in the podcast description to download a free activity booklet that complements this story, Sammy the Squishy, Learning Emotions. The booklet offers a range of activities to deepen your engagement with the story. You can make your own connections with the story and write about a time you felt one of these emotions. You could also listen to the story again and take notes on strategies that help Sammy. Additionally, you can explore the story further to make connections to the STEM engineering design process by creating your own calming tool, such as a squishy ball, glitter jar, or soft fidget. You could also start to practice your own morning mantra or use the mantra from our story. We hope you enjoy these activities and have fun exploring the themes and ideas in this story.
Hey kids, it's time for some jokes. We hope our story today sparked your imagination and took you on an exciting adventure. But before we go, we have some jokes that are sure to make you laugh.
Why was the math book crying?
I don't know.
It had lots of problems.
Why was the node feeling sad? It was tired of getting picked on.
Why was the robot angry? Because someone kept pushing his buttons.
Why are frogs so happy? Because they eat flies? No, silly. Because they eat whatever bugs them.
That's it for today's story on Storytime Adventures. We hope you enjoyed listening as much as we enjoyed telling it. We love it when our listeners share their projects and activities related to the story, so be sure to tag us at Storytime Adventures Podcast on social media. If you have any feedback or suggestions for future stories, please reach out to us at storytimeadventurespodcast@gmail.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform so you never miss an episode. Join us again next time for another exciting adventure. Until then, keep exploring, keep imagining, and keep dreaming big. Thanks for listening.